Bear fire survivors still living in trailers on their burned properties could be running out of time. Action News Now reporter Chloe Curtis shares what's on deck at tomorrow's Butte County Board of Supervisors meeting.
The ordinance allowing bear fire survivors to camp in trailers and RVs on their property is set to expire on December 31st. Tomorrow's meeting at board chambers could determine if it'll be extended. That's the hope for this group of survivors that gathered outside the Butte County Courthouse today, like Fred Wright, who has lived in Berry Creek for nearly 60 years but is currently staying in Oroville.
If they're going to rebuild, they will, it takes time for people on Social Security and stuff like that. Lumber is expensive.
The bear fire destroyed homes in Berry Creek, Brush Creek, and Feather Falls in 2020. A little over 3 years later, some say they need more time.
I think it should be like a year still, but I also think it's more than just the extension of time. I think it's also support, maybe waiving fees, having education for the community of how these processes work. Because there's a lot of misinformation.
Melissa Mathias has lived in Berry Creek for about 10 years, pointing out that communities like Paradise are still rebuilding nearly 5 years later. The camping ordinance there was extended by the town council earlier this year. As an unincorporated community, Berry Creek is overseen by the county.
Homes in Paradise aren't even built yet, so I couldn't really give you a time frame because, looking at our sister community and they're not even ready yet and they have more resources, it's like kind of confusing.
I talked with Supervisor Bill Connolly representing District 1 over the phone today. He didn't want to go on camera, but says he plans to talk about the ordinance at tomorrow's meeting and that more than just him would have to be in favor of extending it. Connolly says his job is to represent the people of his district, and while some people want the ordinance extended, he says there are others who don't, and not everyone is taking active steps to rebuild. Some survivors tell me it's been a struggle to set aside money for rebuilding, and they're concerned about home insurance if they do choose to rebuild.
We love our homes up there. We want to be there. We want to make it a better place. But people are going to be what makes that happen.
Connolly added if people have a building permit, meaning they've applied for and secured one with the county, they're not going to be kicked off their property at the end of the year. A permit shows that the person living there is trying to rebuild. The permits expire 1 year from when they were applied for and require a new application each time. Under the agenda's current proposal, the ordinance would be extended through June 2024. In Oroville, Chloe Curtis, Action News Now, coverage you can count on.
We've also reached out to Butte County Development Services to see how many building permits have been approved in Berry Creek. We're working to get that information and we'll bring it to you as soon as we hear back.